and I'm doing all these things other than the task at hand. That made me think, geez, you know what? Instead of doing the work that we should be doing, what are the things that graphic designers do to not do what they're supposed to
be doing?
Okay. You're listening to the Angry Designer Podcast, where we help frustrated graphic designers crush all the industry BS and learn what it takes to charge what you're worth and build badass, rewarding careers. In this episode, you're going to learn about a designer's secret weapon, procrastination, on how procrastination can spark creative ideas, practical tips to balance procrastination and productivity, and real-life stories that we're going to share about how we turn procrastination into a superpower. So grab yourself a drink and relax, or hang on to that steering wheel and keep your eyes on that road, or better yet, buckle down and get to work, because things are going to get a little crazy. You know what? I'm glad this happened. I was debating on if it was or was not. I was like dogging it. I was dogging it. I don't know why.
I can't wait to hear this story. So
yeah, right. Well, first off, let's what are we drinking today? I didn't realize this was one of your favorite drinks.
This is one of the best.
This one is not overly fancy bottle, but you don't always need one because they've been established in 1779. Look at that bad boy.
Nice.
Bowmore. Can I have some more?
Have some Bowmore.
All right. So we're looking at like a scotch, aren't we?
Yes, this is full on scotch, baby.
Full on scotch.
Yep.
And it's aged for many years, 12 years. And I read that it's a little peaty and
it's
a
very
little
peaty.
flavorful.
You can smell that already.
I know. I love that smell. Oh my God, if it smells like a campfire, you know what?
Yes.
I'm Canadian.
Yes, that's what it is.
You know, it's like all reminisce all those damn campfires we had growing up.
Yes,
because we use campfire to keep our igloos warm. So when we were children, that's how we grew up.
And to cheers. And to you roast the walrus meat.
That is some
there
good
you go.
Peat.
It's got a burn going down, but it'll go away after.
You know what? I don't find it has a burn.
Really?
I find I find that much less. The Gretzky stuff that we had,
had
more of a burn than this.
Yeah, this is true.
But the funny thing is, I'm tasting smoke all the way down,
all the way.
And I do love smoke. I love
smoke.
That
is pretty
smell.
good. I know.
Wow, this is delicious.
It's not bad.
It's smooth. The price point.
The price point is great. It's a good whiskey for what it is, or scotch for what it is.
Yeah. Right. And it's been around for so long. So
it's
wow, right? Good on them.
Pretty awesome. Yes. I love this stuff. Yeah. I sit around the campfire eating s'mores and drinking Bowmore.
Oh, what a dad joke. What a dad joke. So I promised today, I said our next episode was going to be about the ask. Because, our last episode, if I'm not mistaken, it was about, building you up and kind of getting you to that state where you can do the ask. And I just couldn't get into it. I kind of sat down and I was like, just got sidetracked with this. Got sidetracked. I looked at everything I had written. I was like, I'm just not feeling it. And I came across this quote by Mark Twain.
Yes.
That said, never put off until tomorrow what you can do the day after tomorrow. And I was like, wow, because I am living and breathing this right now. Which is why I was just like, guess what, guys? We're not doing the ask episode.
I was just gonna say, I got the folder all set up for the. I was just like, I'm like, what the hell? This is not the ask.
Sorry, buddy.
But this is even better.
Well,
like this is the funniest part.
And it's funny because the more I was feeling this, I wasn't feeling it, right?
Yeah,
and then I remember, like, geez, procrastination was such a huge part.
Oh God.
And still is a huge part in what I do every fucking day.
We all do.
I did it in college. I remember there was a group of 4 of us in college, right? And every time there's a project, we'd go together.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that we were, cocky lucky or that we were, super smart, right? But we would always push our luck, right? And then we'd get one project and year one, it was like it took us 2 weeks to do. So that took way the fuck too long, right? Then it was like we discovered alcohol and this. So then, we started the project a week before it was due, right? Well, then came second year, you came better at alcohol and there were dances and you knew the pubs in the area.
Yes,
so when you got the project, it was like 3 days. 3 days before due, we'd get together, right?
Geez.
And then it got to the point where we were so good at procrastinating these projects that the last project last semester we got together the morning
before
when it was due.
Oh
I
my
swear
God.
to you, and we had to present and we killed it. And it was just like, wow, like,
shit.
Yes. And I mean, it is such a huge part of being a creative.
Wow.
And I never realized how powerful of a tool it is for creative is being, a procrastinator, right?
Yeah, it is kind of in our DNA, I think.
Right? I mean, some people say it's like a learning, coping mechanism and it gives you like some sort of temporary relief of doing something that you don't really want to do, right? And I was like, okay, well, let me read up on this more. And then it started like really doom and gloom. Right. I know it was like, well, reasons why people procrastinate. And it was like fear of judgment and insecurities and, perfectionism. And I'm like, I'm not feeling this today. Yeah. I'm like, no, confirmation bias. No, I'm going to push that aside because, this happened once already today. I didn't need to push off yet another podcast episode. So then I actually found this whole train of thought that procrastination is actually something that's valuable for creative people. Okay. That's what I noticed. I started seeing a trend that procrastination and creatives seem to be in line with one another over and over. I started finding all these cool topics, YouTube, Reddit threads. So all of a sudden it's like the thing I ended up procrastinating.
You're in it.
Now I'm in it. Now I'm committed to it, right? And this is very common apparently. Okay, sometimes it can be a very valuable thing to procrastinate.
Yes.
Because
I can see that.
Because it actually helps you get all that shit that you're supposed to get done, but you never want to do until it's time to procrastinate. And then it's like, oh, perfect. Clean my desk drawer. I've been sitting on that for 2 years. I need a clean fucking drawer before I start this project. But oftentimes, the whole art of procrastination or the function of procrastination does help get a lot of shit off your plate.
Yeah.
In a weird sort of way, it kind of clears the runway.
Yes.
So you have a clear path.
Right.
Okay. So it actually can be a valuable asset if you know how to balance, procrastination and yes. But that's still an excuse. The thing that I actually found more fascinating was like there was actually a couple studies done. Okay. And there's actually evidence out there that suggests that procrastination can boost a creative's performance.
Ooh.
Okay. And so this is when all of a sudden I'm hooked because now I'm like, wow, procrastination actually
is
makes
a good
it
thing.
Better.
Yes.
It's a good thing. So let me just read that later. Let's get to that article later. But no, it's like the whole idea was that people who engaged in procrastination perform better at tasks that tested their creativity. And at first I was like, this is a bunch of bullshit. I was like, there's no way. Like, how is this secret power that we all do and didn't realize? Like, we thought it was bad, but it was actually kind of good.
It's actually a good thing.
So I guess the thing is when you do something other than the task at hand that you're supposed to, but you're not, okay? You're actually giving your brain a chance to process the problem.
Yes.
See? And he's processing the problem and make fresh connections, but in the background. Right?
Almost like a shower thought.
It's exactly like a shower thought. Because how many times do you sit down and you're like, it's not coming to me right now.
Yes.
And you're like, I'm just going to get to it later.
I got to get out of here. I got to do something. Or what we do is switch jobs. Like we have 2 or 3 on the go most of the times. Sometimes I'll just go, okay, fuck this. I'll move on to this one over here. And we're doing that one. But like you said, it's still kind of cooking in the back.
Still, right?
Yeah.
And so it actually kind of flips the problem to your
cool.
subconscious mind. Okay. And so the subconscious starts processing it, right? And what this is commonly known as incubation.
Oh,
Love that.
Incubation.
The creative incubation. Okay, that alone is just like,
fucking
I'm going to
cool.
do another whole topic on that one, but I didn't want to delay what I've already delayed once. So, but this whole incubation concept is that, once the problem, moves to your subconscious, right? This is how you get those light bulb moments.
Right.
Those shower thoughts, because what you're actually doing is you're not turning your mind off from the actual, the task at hand.
Right.
Okay. It's just, it's processing in a different plane altogether.
Yes.
It's not in your conscious, and you are subconsciously collecting all these ideas, thoughts, notes, right? Because again, everybody's heard this whole knowledge is creativity, but it's because it's the unknowing act of collecting the knowledge is what helps put together that big creative vision. So I was like, wow, cool. That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That totally makes sense, because I'm like, sometimes I can think of like you're doing something or like you go away, you're at home, you're doing whatever, and I know I've got a big project on the go for the next day, and it's like, it'll come to you.
Yes.
You'll sit there, okay, I know how to do that part.
Absolutely.
But when I'm staring at it, looking at it, going,
absolutely
I don't know how to fucking do this. So that's cool. Incubation.
Incubation. So this is the word that it's the creative incubation. And
like
and again, it's a legitimate thing, but then again, there's a lot of articles out there, but there's a lot about, why creatives do what they do. Yeah. So don't worry about this fear of this and perfectionism and blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, that was just, I'm not in the mood today to hear all this shit. I didn't want to hear all this negativity and feel bad, right? Instead, I was like, wow, by me not doing my task at hand, I came up with something else to talk about. And then I was just like, shit, you know what? Like, look what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm actually cleaning my desk.
You are cleaning,
I am, like deciding on lunch, and I'm solving the world's problems. And I'm doing all these things other than the task at hand.
The task at hand.
That made me think, geez, you know what? Instead of doing the work that we should be doing, what are the things that graphic designers do to not do what they're supposed to be doing? Okay. So I got a nice list here. I reached out to some other designers, and it's great. And you'll be surprised at how far a graphic designer will go
to not work.
To not work. Of course, the most obvious, of course, is the procrastination.
The procrastination.
Okay.
I like it. I like it.
Before you can do any sort of work that involves creativity, right? Yeah. You got to clean everything. You got to clean your desk. You got to clean your drawers, your desktop on your computer. Yep. Okay. For some people, that alone will take weeks to do. It will take a ton of time. Yes. You got folders that are everywhere. Shit. Even my download folder, instead of trashing everything in my download folder, when I try to do this procrastination, I'm like organizing my download
sorting it
folder.
out.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Wow.
I am making an intentional effort to clean everything. Because without everything being clean, I just can't get to work. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's a true thing, guys. It's a true thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Organizing fonts. So like screw all just like leaving a giant list of fonts, okay, like in your font folder, right? We're talking, let's start grouping them together into like techno fonts, and to like serif Gotham fonts, and to like New World Age fonts, okay? Right? And then, again, because it's worth doing, of course, right? Yeah. Because, anything that takes you away from the task at hand is important and it's worth doing. So organizing your fonts, right? Creating mood boards.
Oh, yes.
Okay. For endless mood boards on Pinterest for projects that don't actually exist. But, it's important
someday
to create. Someday they might, right? So it's like, it's important to have a mood board on, well, for me, it was really important to have a mood board on car decals from the 50s. And then, I needed the 60s and I needed the 70s and I needed to kind of, I needed those in order for me to start my project. I had to actually, start creating all these folders.
Mine is band logos.
Right.
If I look at it, I got to look at the Rolling Stones logo.
For inspiration, of course, right? It's like nothing is better than creating mood boards for projects that don't actually exist.
That don't actually exist.
That project does come.
You know it will.
The board's already there.
Yeah.
The whole problem is you got to remember that.
Where you saved it.
The next day, what? Where'd that thing go?
I know I did a mood board for this.
Redesigning your portfolio.
Oh,
for the
there you go.
4th, 5th, 10th time.
Yep.
Okay. Even though there's no need for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Even though there's absolutely no purpose for it. You're happy. You've got clients. You're working.
Everything's good.
You're planning ahead. You know, it's important to constantly update and redo that portfolio instead of doing the work that you have at hand.
Exactly.
Of course, right? Because you know, you never know what's going to be coming knocking at the door that's going to want to see your portfolio.
That's right.
Yeah. That one makes sense. This one's a big one, and I think graphic designers are very guilty of this. But research, just on everything. Okay,
yes.
Solve the world's fucking problems through your procrastination research, because there is no more powerful, sleuthing abilities, a person can have
when you've got a job to do. So instead of doing that job, you have the ability to research unlike any other human on Earth. Yep.
And don't feel it has to be on the project.
No.
That would feel like you got work done.
Yes.
I'm talking, we're talking, you could be solving, the greatest mysteries of the world by this, right? You could kill so much time researching. And it can turn, and as soon as it actually feels productive, well, then you stop.
Then something else
comes up, right? Like perfecting your workspace.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Okay,
there we go.
You can't possibly start a project unless, of course, you have your monitor set to a certain size. Mm-hmm. You have the keyboard in place, right? Yep. You realize after doing an exhaustive internet search that you need a new pad underneath your keyboard,
right? So you got to shop for that.
Right? And then, you stumble across some great Pinterest mood boards that show these amazing workspaces that people have. But you just can't not have that kind of workspace. So of course it's important to start, materializing what your future workspace could be like, right?
Yep.
New pictures, and boy, this rabbit hole just keeps going, because next thing you know, you're choosing paint colors, pictures, bamboo or stainless steel.
What's the desk gonna look like?
It's all part of this whole process, okay? So perfecting your workspace, very important.
That's good.
This one's very, very important. Binge watching design tutorials on YouTube.
Oh, yes.
For skills that, A, you already know, or B, you're probably never going to use.
Just stuff you're never going to use.
But it's good to know that there are certain kinds of type paths that will inverse type, and skew it and bend it in a way that, if that project ever comes, you remembered watching that video in order to implement that. Or you could just do it manually, which
also works as well.
Right. A fun, procrastination method is when you stumble across really nerdy graphic design games.
Oh.
Okay. Like there's this one game and it's called Kern Type. And it basically puts up a word and all the fonts are like improperly kerned. And you have to individually space every one of these fonts within the word. And then you test your score. Boom.
Oh, shit.
So you can see if you scored 80, 90. It shows you where the proper, kerning was.
Really?
Oh, man, dude. Sometimes, in order to prep for a project, I'll spend a good half hour, 45 minutes just burning through some time, just being like, damn it, I knew. V beside the A is always tricky, for God's sake. So Kern Type people, you're welcome.
Wow. Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting game.
Yeah. Another great, procrastination technique that, graphic designers do before actually working on a project is create lists about the project at hand, the things that have to be done for this project.
Oh, well, that's good. Yes.
But then also other projects ahead of it that you have to plan to do.
Stuff that doesn't concern the project that you're
Not this
currently
one,
on.
right? Because, think about it. If you can start making lists
Yes.
about how organized you're going to be on this project,
Right.
imagine how much more organized you'll be when you have the next 4 projects ready.
Yeah, totally.
Because then you can just kind of pick and choose the parts that you need to, let alone grocery lists,
Yes.
education lists, places to vacation.
Yes,
It's great.
Just list it up.
List everything, right? Make your whole life a listicle, okay? Kind of like this one.
I don't like this one. Oh my God.
The very common one, of course, for inspiration is browsing inspirational
Yes,
sites,
of
right?
course,
You
of course.
go through Behance, Dribble, right? And you can
Yep.
you can inspiration this shit for hours.
You could do that all goddamn day.
Right?
Yep.
This is in prep to work.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
So this could fall underneath research, but probably not, because research is about researching everything other than the project.
you're doing.
This is research for the project. So
Yes.
this one actually feels like you're cheating.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
not, so if you feel dirty about procrastinating, this one almost falls in line of research for the project.
Yes.
Because you can build this to the customer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you can.
It's creative research.
It is creative research. That's why I always keep the tab open that pertains to the job that I'm doing, but I'm also over on the other on Dribble or something like that. That's I don't feel guilty either, because I got it open. I'm researching it.
Nothing feels more satisfying than when you start redesigning personal logos, over and over again. You don't need to at this point.
No.
You've got a company logo, you've got your own personal brand, but when you see a cool new style, and you can waste a good hour and a half trying to incorporate a personal brand and that new style just for the hell of it.
For the hell of it.
Just
Yep.
because that feels so satisfying.
It's good, right?
I'm sure that you've probably did an SC in like an AC/DC font, and put it probably on the front of a drum set.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes, I love it.
Another fun thing to do, of course, is making mock-ups.
Making mock-ups.
Fake products that you don't actually have. Fake customers you don't actually work for, or just something fictitious altogether. Okay? Making mock-ups, for products or personal brands is always a good way to, procrastinate, waste some time.
Yeah. Totally.
Right. I love always experimenting with new tools, whether it's new software, whether it's new plugins. 99% of the time, I won't even use these again after that.
You never will.
Right.
Yeah.
I spend more time trying to find out how to delete the plugins that I installed than I actually did playing with the plugin, right? But it was the effort that went behind looking for this plugin, installing it, understanding it, and then deleting it. That's where the satisfaction was for me. It wasn't actually in what the plugin could do for my creativity, because then that feels like work, and that's not what this is about. This episode is a little bit on procrastinating, right?
But that's almost like work, because you have to get rid of that. You have to do research and figure out how to
see. Which then you procrastinate for.
Yes.
You're like, damn it, my Photoshop keeps crashing because of that damn plugin. I got to find a solution, but wow, check this out.
But maybe I'll need it later. I don't know. Check this out.
I found an interesting stat that said 99.9% of people's social media is updated in attempts to procrastinate. So, updating your social
There's a great
media.
way to do that.
Yeah, right. Updating, and that's how social media is actually done.
Yes.
Is because as people procrastinate, they're like, oh, I gotta put up a post.
I gotta
put up a post about a design process that I don't actually use, but I saw yesterday, so I'm gonna quickly fake it, do something up now, and post it. Right. So that's why it all feels very samey.
Exactly.
This one I love. Ready?
Yeah.
Nothing says, I'm gonna procrastinate a job than making custom music playlists.
Yes.
These are lists that are ideal to play when you have a certain type of project that works for that playlist, dude. Okay?
Yes.
Dude, you could spend hours on this one. The rabbit holes involved in creating these music lists, finding new bands that then all of a sudden you've got a new rock alternative, an old new rock alternative, an indie newfound alternative playlist. And these are all grouped under, the miscellaneous rock.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you've got your EDM section.
Yeah.
You've got, top 40 country music in case you ever have a country job.
Yeah.
But you don't listen to country music,
So you just
Right? So
Yeah.
that's never going to come your way.
Yeah, you'll never.
Creating
You gotta
these
have
music,
it.
gotta have it though. Creating these music lists are a great way to procrastinate.
Big time.
And I
Big
give people
time.
credit for doing this because
Yes.
I just checked my YouTube list and I have over 64 different playlists in YouTube right now.
Wow.
Right.
That's awesome.
And I always use the same 3 I go back to. So those other 61.
Where did they come from?
And the only reason I haven't gone through
Procrastination.
them is because it takes a lot of work to actually go back and through them. So as long until YouTube starts charging me for all these extra playlists, they're sticking there,
They're staying there.
Another great procrastination thing that graphic designers are absolutely notorious for
Yeah.
is using that moment to upgrade your OS.
Oh,
For the computer, because it takes about 2 hours to upgrade,
Right.
and then you got to restart, 5 or 6 times,
Yep.
right? Then it's gonna, always throw you with the, hey, you don't have enough space on your computer.
Oh, there's that,
So then
yep.
you've got,
Then
so
you
this
gotta-
is a great procrastination technique that we're all known to do.
Yep,
At
yep.
the worst possible
at
time.
the worst possible time.
And just underneath that, of course, updating your Adobe products.
Oh, yeah.
You might as well update
Yeah.
those while you're updating them, because again, you might as well do it before, because you want to start with a fresh operating system and fresh software.
There could be some interesting things in the Photoshop, in the new Photoshop, right?
That you won't
have
use,
yeah,
but-
you'll never even know.
You won't know because they don't give you a heads
They don't
up.
tell you what it is.
Other than a, hey,
But-
new feature. Do you want to know? No, just move
No,
next.
just- next.
Well,
done.
when you're procrastinating, it's the perfect time to find out what those next are.
There you go. Yeah, that's gold.
Yeah, right. The funny thing is, this shit's real.
Yeah, it totally is. I know. Like, I get that. Oh my God, it's too funny.
Another classic part. I'm notorious when it comes to procrastinating for deciding that this is the moment that I'm going to go through all of those emails that I have that I need to unsubscribe to.
Oh shit.
Instead of archive, I unarchive them and I go through them one at a time
And unsubscribe.
unsubscribe. Dude, I'm like scrolling back weeks. I'm like, oh yeah, here's one. Here's another one. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not actually replying to customers.
Yeah.
I'm just more or less sorting
You're
my
just-
spam. Okay. Procrastinating. Like replying to customer emails are like a last resort, guys.
Do you ever wonder why you subscribe to stupid stuff like that?
So when I need to procrastinate, I can unsubscribe. That's why I do
is
it.
that what it's for?
That's
that
only-
makes sense now. I get
Because
it.
does anybody really pay attention
'Cause
to
I'll-
that constant email list that
Yes.
comes every week? Here's another one.
Exactly. And I'll go back
Yeah.
like a couple months going, the hell did I sign up for that for?
Exactly.
I needed
Exactly.
something off it. I don't know. I got roped into it. I don't know what it was. But it's like, yep, time to procrastinate. Start unsubscribing.
Let me also point out something else. Do you ever notice how particular you become about the design around you when you have to get a job done? Like if I'm supposed to work, I'm like, okay, I can do this. But in the corner of my eye, I'm actually seeing a cookie package on my countertop. And I'm like, fuck, they did a really shitty job, with that layout. And, I'll have to go critique that first in my mind. And then
How
I
would
have
I
to
do
think,
better?
how would I
Yeah.
do this? And then it's just like, wait, what do the other cookies in my house look like? What do those packages look like? I start comparing, cookie logo to cookie logo. Then I compare it to, I open up the fridge, comparing packages all over the place. Okay, all of a sudden, I am like critiquing every package in my site versus actually
doing what you're supposed to do. Yeah.
I'm a package critique
Package
expert.
critiquer. Really? Are you really?
I should put that on my LinkedIn profile.
You should, yes.
Yeah.
What's the worst package you've seen then? Or can you think of?
Oh, I can't think of any.
Okay.
You have to
But
get
it was
me in the
like
right
a
kind of
cookie
mood.
package that
Sure,
really
it was. It still stands in my mind.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty bad.
That's
It's pretty bad.
fascinating.
Yeah. So critiquing designs.
Yeah.
That's something that we
Yep.
do as well, right?
That makes sense.
Somebody, pointed out that the shiny distraction is a very important thing, right? It's like all of a sudden you become hyper aware and, you should do the project that's in front of you, but oh, look, a new email has come in. Let's see what's on that one.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Oh, look, a new
something
what is
to
that?
subscribe to.
Something shiny to subscribe to. So, the shiny project distraction,
Yes.
right? Or shiny, anything shiny. and
Anything
new.
shiny. Yep. Yep.
Absolutely. You got that,
That's
dude.
great. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This one I find is quite close to my heart. Personal procrastination.
Oh, personal.
Yeah. I will start this project after I come back from lunch. I will start this after I make this last phone call to my doctor, or after I come back from the bathroom, right? Personal procrastination efforts are because I mean, you can't say no.
Yeah.
I can't work on something if I have to go to the bathroom, guys.
This is true. Yes.
If my stomach is grumbling because I'm hungry, that's just not fair to the customer.
No, it's not. No. You can't design on an empty stomach.
Nope, not at all. Not at all.
So these are the personal ones then. Okay, I see.
Yeah, that was a personal one. That's very important.
Errands get thrown in there
absolutely.
at all? Okay, yeah. So
I
got to run to the bank first before
it's an important thing, right? It's an important thing that you got to take care of, right? Email refreshing. Okay. Remember that game like, 20 years ago where it's like you're a track and field event, you'd have to tap the buttons really fast in order to make the guy run? Well, before a project, I generally do that for my email. I refresh so fast to make sure nothing's going to come while I'm working on this project. It's so far in the future. Refresh. Okay, here's no, it's the newsletter.
No, it's something else.
Refresh.
Damn it.
Email refresh is a real thing.
Yes,
it is.
Interesting.
Yes, it is.
Interesting.
You may use procrastination as the perfect time to start researching new places that you have never researched before.
New places.
This is how I found Reddit. This is how I found Quora, right?
Okay.
This is how I find half of these weird abstract directories that I go on and I mean, half of them are fake and full of bots, but I find them when I'm procrastinating, trying to find research for real work. So, it's a good opportunity to start, like plug in all these new places, right? Reddit, Quora,
Creative Block.
Wikipedia. Oh yeah, all these ones, right? They're great. They're great.
Nice.
Making new color palette libraries is a big thing.
What?
Yeah,
is this a thing?
It's a thing. I will like spend, a good 90 minutes on Pinterest finding all these color combinations I like, even though there's apps that'll do it for me. And I mean, we recommend them, but that nothing says great when I like open up a really inefficient Illustrator doc.
Yeah.
And I drag a pic from, like Pinterest onto my Illustrator doc and create my own swatches, right? Because then again, it's like I'm building my own libraries for projects that I'll never have, right? Because, I'm doing stuff that's like Santa Fe inspired and everything that we do is pretty much tech inspired.
It's tech, yeah.
It doesn't really work too well, but heck, that Santa Fe job ever came. I'm set.
Oh, so you're setting up your color palettes while you're procrastinating and doing when you should be doing something else.
Now hearing you say that, it almost sounds productive.
That does kind of.
Oh, so I've been doing that one wrong.
But no, but you said it yourself. Like if it's a Santa Fe kind of style, then you're never going to use that. But it is good to have it just in case, right?
Absolutely.
It's like the country playlist that you were talking about. If we ever got a Western themed client, boom, you've got the music ready for it. You're already set.
Jump all over
and then you got the Santa Fe. So you're really fucking yourself when it comes to the procrastination. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe that is work. So put an asterisk beside that.
Procrastinating is also a perfect opportunity for you to learn new skills, like improve on your doodling or become a cartoonist, maybe pick up manga art or something, right? It's a good opportunity to learn a new skill.
That's right.
Right? Because really, if you spend like 15 minutes a day, apparently learning something new, right? And practicing something, in the course of a year, apparently you'll be better than like 98% of the people in the world. So,
is that true?
That's actually a true stat.
What?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy,
for doing something for 15 minutes a day.
Practice something for 15 minutes every day, and by the end of that year, apparently you're going to be better than 98% of the people in the world doing this thing.
That's cool.
Kind of crazy, right?
Wow. If I've logged 15 minutes of procrastination, I might be the best procrastinator in the world. That's really cool,
right?
Holy
so that's
shit.
A good one.
Okay, okay.
Another designer today gave us, what they do is they often do storage backups. Before they start working, they do storage because you can kill a lot of time while it's waiting. While it's like sitting there saying, okay, it's got 90 minutes to go to, transfer over 14 gigabytes. Well, that's 90 minutes you can't be working. So that's a lot of good procrastination.
Yeah.
While you're there, you can organize some folders and put things away in logical places. But doing storage backups.
Storage backups.
Right?
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good one, right?
Yeah.
Creating your own font is always a popular one.
Oh,
right?
shit. Really?
Sure. Why not? I'm sure everybody's always thought that they could do a better version of Helvetica, right? It's called Inter, apparently.
It's called Inter.
But I mean, again, it's just like use, this time before because you might want want to use it for this project in the future.
Right.
Oddly, that one could actually become quite beneficial.
Yeah.
But I know the only time I ever tend to want to create my own font is when I don't want to work on another project. So, give it a try, guys. That might actually work out for
that
you.
sounds really good. Oh.
Learning new shortcuts. This is great. Back in the old days, it's like it was great to be efficient.
Yeah.
And if you were only using if you were like a mouse expert,
you were going up into the folder and then dragging it down to outline. Yeah,
that's right. Memorize not only the usual shortcuts that you use, but even these obscure things.
Yeah.
Like there are different type of keyboards and keys. Dude, you could spend so much time, memorizing keyboard shortcuts for all kinds of software. Because apparently every software has their own version of a keyboard shortcut.
Wow.
Right. And you can learn that when you're procrastinating. Creating fake briefs in order to get better at when the opportunity for a real one comes up. Okay. This is, fake briefs and, the designs that go around them, right? Sometimes it's like, do you just want to do a letter brief or do you want to set it up, landscape, actually make it look, because again, when you want to give out a good, exactly, dude, use this time to create these fake briefs.
Wow.
Go into a nostalgic rabbit hole.
Oh,
nothing helps inspire you, and helps procrastinate than starting to dig up the cartoons that you grew up with when you were 5 years old or 3. I mean, episodes of SpongeBob never looked more horrible than they do now when you review, and you just, and all you do is you're shaking your head going, is it really as bad as that? And I watched this, so I spent how much brain power watching this? That's great. That's great.
But on the plus side, Linda Carter looks great now.
Linda Carter looks fantastic.
Now,
Wonder Woman is
if you're ever wondering, you're procrastinating a job, you wonder what Wonder Woman looks like? Well, she looks great.
Funny you say that. Okay, another way to procrastinate is to see what your child stars look like now.
Look at that.
Right? Because you see, as and you can justify this because you can see as they age if they're still in style or not, right?
Yeah.
And then that's how you can plan your future work. Okay, you want logos to last the test of time, so let's see what Linda Carter's looking like these days.
Find out what her procrastination habits were like.
Yeah, right. And how did she still manage to look so darn good? Another thing to do when you're procrastinating is use this time, wisely to plan your next retreat to recharge your creativity.
Oh,
right. Yeah. So again, use that time to plan and start researching different islands, prices, places you could stay. Because this happens a lot.
Yes.
That we're all guilty of is just kind of like, man, I don't know when I'm going to have a vacation or when I'm going to have time to, but when I do, I have figured out that there's a small island off the coast of Fiji that's named after an in-law's grandparent from like 20 centuries ago.
Yes. We gotta be related.
We gotta get there. Gotta get there. Reading design blogs. Okay. Pretty boring.
Oh, that is boring.
That's boring. Like, you're just like, wow, like these are endless amounts of boring articles about, design principles you should consider, tips you consider, things that you can find on YouTube and short form video, but read them. Because now you have the time to read them.
Yes.
Okay. Because when you're actually getting shit done, you're not reading them. You're skimming them. Yeah. You're online watching, short form video. No. Now's the time to read them.
Video is too concise and too practical.
Absolutely.
You want something that's completely fucked. It takes forever.
And last but not least, probably one of the best things to do, when you're procrastinating is daydream about projects you'd rather be working on other than the one that you're procrastinating over. Okay, start planning out. I wish I was into an extreme sport. I wish I was, I wish I had Red Bull, or I wonder how Lincoln does it to have all those cool.
I was just gonna say that's my thing. I'll go to Lincoln and I'll think, wow.
Yeah, right. Wow, I wish I could be working on those.
I bet you they had fun doing that.
PowerPoint. Yeah,
That's awesome.
I
yes.
think these are all legitimate
Big time.
and I bet you there's a million more.
There's probably a
I
ton
want
more.
people to send us more
Yes.
because I would love to create the biggest possible list of things that graphic designers do to procrastinate
when you get around to it.
when I get around to it. Because I found already something else to do. So I'll get to this. I'll get to this. So you guys send me this stuff and I'll get to it. But right now,
you'll get around to
I've
it.
already found something new and shiny to kind of get to. And I'll get to that once I redesign my desk space for optimal performance.
Storage, make sure all your
Everything's
files are
backed
stored.
up,
Yeah.
computer's updated,
Yeah.
so it's ready to handle all this
Yep.
new shit
Yep.
that I'm gonna do when I'm ready for it.
See what Daisy Duke looks like, just to check,
Yeah,
see what
yeah,
she looks like
see,
now.
she still looks like
okay, now I'm ready. Now I'm ready for the list.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, these are awesome. These are really, and yeah, you're right. We are in a space that certainly lends to this practice,
Well,
doesn't it?
and the funny thing is, I think a big part of avoiding burnout is
part of this. You're right.
And
you're right.
it is. And it's something that it's like, you need those moments to kind of distract. If you're not feeling it, by pushing yourself sometimes through it is not necessarily a good thing.
You're not doing a good job when you're completely, when you don't understand it or when you're not sure exactly what you're doing. So sometimes it is good to kind of pull away from it and regroup. And like you said, it's cooking in the back. It's cooking in the subconscious, which is,
exactly.
I fully believe that's absolutely true. Like
I do. I think the key is when you're going to procrastinate, don't procrastinate until you have a clear understanding of the project at hand that you are procrastinating from. And that's the difference.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, no, I just don't even want to start that project. I'm not going to read up. Well, then you're not helping yourself through, your subconscious superpowers, right? At the very least, do yourself a favor. You know what I mean? Understand what the project is, read it, understand it, try to address any questions that you might have in this project, and then let it simmer.
Yeah.
Then procrastinate all you want.
Right.
Dude, I have been guilty even now, even as early as like a couple months ago. It's like, I procrastinated doing a presentation until the morning I was supposed to hand it in. And it was because I was like, how am I going to do this? And I know I've talked about it, right?
Good.
And it's like all of a sudden it's like, yep, now I know
Then
what I'm
you
doing.
get it.
I will go into the office at like 5, 6 in the morning. I know it's going to take me 4 or 5 hours to do. I will hand it in on time. But the thing is, it's like, but it's not like I never even looked at the brief.
Yes.
I knew what I had to do. I just had to let it percolate.
You just had to let it percolate. And that's exactly, I've worked on projects here with our major client, and it was just like, I understand what they're thinking. I just don't know how to execute. You know what I mean? And that was kind of the slipping part, whereas I was like, I needed to kind of pull back and do something else while it's still and then it comes to you and you're like, yes, okay, I get it. I know what they're asking for now. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer.
Exactly. It's that incubation, and we all have it and we all use it. And that's what separates, the lifelong graphic designers with the short-term ones, is understanding that we have these really cool superpowers. We just got to, we got to feed into them.
Yeah.
And surprisingly enough, procrastination does feed in as ridiculous as these are.
This has shocked me that this is actually a good thing.
It's a good thing, right?
And maybe that's why it is so predominant when in our space.
In our space, right? Yeah.
Because it does work. Fucking A, this is really good. This is great.
Well, this was fun, that's for sure. Guys, please, by all means, send us your program. Send us what you are guilty of doing.
Yes.
I would love to start getting this list sooner or later. And putting it all together and maybe having a part 2 of this episode, because I think these are just, shocking that we do them, you do them, everybody does them.
Everybody does them.
And it's not necessarily a bad thing, just do them right. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because we never not get the job done.
Oh, we've never
exactly.
We're always delivering.
You do it, and it's like you said. If I can do this in 5 hours, I'm going to get up early this day because I understand.
Because
you'll get it done,
and we'll get it done.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. So harness this.
The power, the superpower.
All right, hit us up on Instagram. Jump in on these conversations. Let us know what it is, what you're doing, what tricks you're doing, or if anything else to share to this. Other than that, thanks for kicking around.
And stay tuned for the part 2.
Or part 2. So someday.
At one point, we'll get around to it.
My name is Massimo.
My name is John.
Stay creative.
And stay angry.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Yeah. There's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, so do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor. I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you, just go get your own tissue.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
That's it, the end of the song. Next time you'll sing along. Trust me, there's nothing wrong. I just need to carry on, cause society's a myth put there to make you sit. Listen to what they give. Don't ask questions, shut your lid. Yeah, don't ask questions, shut your lid.